Well, folks, there are a small, and I mean a small number of people online who say that Zach and Karen should be back together because they want them together. But then there's a larger number of people who are like, you know what, with Zach acting the way he's acting now, Fatima definitely deserves better. So you know what, Zach and Karen get back together. But to be honest, I think I mentioned this last week in a video. If you were an avid viewer of Boy Meets World back in the 90s and whatnot, and you remember, I can't remember her name, but I know she was played by the actress who played Vilma in the live action Scooby-Doo's. She played Hawkeye's wife in the MCU. She played in Freaks and Geeks. I think it was Laura something. I can't remember her last name. I probably didn't say her first name correctly. I'm probably thinking about an character she played in a role. I think it's Laura something. But basically, her character and Corey, this was during a school ski trip, and Corey got injured, so he couldn't go on the slope. So he and this girl, they like stayed up the entire night, talking, getting to know each other and whatnot. And in one night of interacting, her and Corey clicked, and I think that she kissed him, and Topanga didn't know about it until she found a letter that fell out of Corey's backpack that she had written for him. And then, he's all conflicted on, oh no, do I have feelings for Topanga or this other girl? Lauren, I think her name was Lauren. That was the name of her character. And Topanga allowed Corey to, because this chick left the mountains to find Corey and ask him on a date. So Topanga allowed Corey to go on this date with Lauren to test his feelings. And they had a great time, but then after the date, he and Sean talked it out, and he realized, no, Topanga's the one for me, without a doubt. But then when they met up at the local teen hangout, Chubby's, like on Saved by the Bell, the Max was the, hangout spot for the kids. Also, to this day, I never figured out if the Max was like adjacent to the high school, Bayside school, or if the Max was like a local teen hangout. I never figured that out. But in any case, this was at the end of the episode where Corey says, "It's you, Topanga, it's you." But then Topanga just said, "Corey, do you have any idea how many guys hit on me?" Wait, what? Yeah, guys hit on me all the time, but I always turn them down because there's never a doubt in my mind that you're the one I want to be with. And I'm breaking up with you. And I'm like, what? Because as a kid, I didn't understand I thought Topanga was foul for that. I'm like, you're the one that let him go on this date. He went on it, he sorted his feelings out and was like, Topanga, you're the one. And she was like, well, the thing is, Corey, my feelings for you were never in doubt. And the fact that you doubt it shows that we really aren't meant to be. And eventually, they did get back together like 3 episodes later or something. But as an adult, that hit harder because I actually understand that Topanga wasn't in the wrong, because if I remember correctly, her like parents moved to Philadelphia, but she ran away from home to come back to be with Corey, and then she ended up staying with her aunt. And then if I remember correctly, she turned down going to Harvard to go to a community college with Corey, which I still think is one of the worst decisions made by one of these characters in a, teen show like this. But in any case, yeah, I can definitely understand her reluctance to trust Corey after that. And the reason I bring up that show as a comparison is even worse is Zach and Fatima, because look at how much shit they've been through, that they're currently still going through. They're engaged, and yet Zach is just backpedaling to Karen more than when he was riding that damn bicycle. Now, granted, yes, prior to these episodes, prior to like the last 3 episodes of Sisters that came out, 3, 4, and 5, when we got episode synopsis for, season 6, as well as character information for like, okay, here's the journey this character is going to go through in season 6. I recall there being a bit about Fatima questioning Zach, and I'm like, look, come on, Fatima. He's going to be upset that his potential baby mama died in a fire, and if you're going to be jealous over that, that's just messed up. But then when we actually saw the episodes and how Zach has been written to act, it definitely is like, yeah, I definitely see Fatima's side on this one. I'm Team Fatima. And if he got dumped and, you know, tried to go back to Karen, whatever, yeah, he deserved it. And it's just one of those things because Fatima's biggest fear was, you're going to do me like Ian, you're going to go back to your ex. And there's been no real evidence of this happening until recently. I mean, from the way he acted with Karen on the phone, and then, you know, the way he hooping and hollering at the salon, and then when she made her return, he just scooped her up for like 3 hugs and, oh, I'll fix the salon and yada yada. Oh, also, key point, if you go back and rewatch the scene when Zach just jumps to, you know, hug Karen and whatnot, and he's caressing her hair and whatnot, my favorite part, I didn't notice this until I went back to watch this scene a week or so ago for, you know, a note when I was taking notes. Aaron's face, because Gary was kind of like, ooh, dude, okay, this is awkward. But if you look at Aaron's face, he's like, ain't this a bit? I've rubbed this woman's feet so many times. I wasted so much money on pickles, Chinese food, and ice cream, and I did all this, and now that's all undone because of Zach's, you know, performance right there. So I feel like even if Zach, and to talk about Karen now, to be completely honest, and to be somewhat fair to Karen, I'm not going to give her too much flack. Yeah, she is being messy. A lot of people are like, if you go back and look at that phone call, she knew that Fatima was there, and she was pushing Zach to say, I love you in front of Fatima just to hurt her. But it doesn't help that Zach is kind of gassing her up. I mean, for all the, well, you know, the tragedy made him act the way he really feels, Zach is not helping the situation. As we learned in Zatima when he was explaining to Bryce why he's all touchy-feely. Look, I'm like a very expressive person. But at the same time, the way you've been acting, this isn't like Bryce with the whole mixed signals, even though Zach clearly said, look, you know, I'm in the women, I ain't in the men. And then Bryce still took it as, you know, I'm going to make a move on Zach. This is different because, of course, Karen being his ex, and then just the way he was acting towards her and whatnot. It's just one of those things where it's hard to, I guess you could say, identify the line of Zach being concerned versus Zach having real feelings, you know? So a lot of people keep saying like, well, why didn't Fatima say something like at the end of the last episode? Why didn't Fatima say something at the salon? She didn't. Fatima was doing something that was very, very dangerous. She was observing, and she was silent, because silence speaks volumes. And the fact that she's so, I'm not even going to say mad, the fact that she can't even fathom what to do at this moment should let Zach know he has fucked up so majorly bad, because the Fatima of old would have snapped. But this Fatima we're seeing now, I don't even know what's going to happen, because I don't know what Zach can say or do in order to alleviate any doubts in her mind, or to convince her that, hey, what you saw isn't really what it was. Because not once, and I mean not once, between being at the salon, being on the phone with Karen, has the baby been brought up. Hey, look, Karen, yeah, I'm not in love with you anymore. But yeah, I don't want to see you dead. And more importantly, it's the fact that you're carrying a child that could be mine. So I'm just glad you and the baby are all right. The baby has not been brought up once. Also, just a side note tangent here, I didn't really like the fact that, and look, this was a drastic thing because Karen was thought to be dead, but the fact that we had such a great emotional scene between Zach and his reaction to his son's living conditions, and yet all of that was just thrown to the side the moment Karen was dead, was the new storyline of the series. I mean, Michael hasn't been brought up once. It's just really messed up just once. So with that being said, I think that even if Zach got back together with Karen, it would not last long. I think we all realize that. And if Zach goes back to Karen, like, I'm not gonna lie, even if Fatima decides to take off her ring and call things off with Zach in the next episode, and Zach decides to get back with Karen, it doesn't work out, he tries to get back with Fatima, I hope Fatima rejects him. Even if it means the end of Zatima, the series, I don't want to see Fatima ruined. I mean, season 5 ruined the character, but season 6, you know, I've been on her side for a majority of it, so it would just be trash, you know, it would be trash. So I think that Zach getting back with Karen would be a mistake. And it's just like these things where they're acting on emotion rather than logic. It's the fact that, yeah, in the moment, Zach was really concerned. He didn't want anything to happen to Karen. But Karen is reading that as, oh, well, he's shown his true feelings and he wants me back. And not realizing that just like that moment of passion that they shared in the office leading to her potentially getting pregnant, because we don't know if it's Zach's baby yet. I feel like something similar may have happened after she got out, she was discovered to be out of the fire alive. Well, let's say these two had a moment. They would probably have sex. I would not be surprised they had sex. But then he would go right back to Fatima. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that Karen and Zach are going to get back together? Or do you think Zach is going to be like, no, 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 no? But to be completely honest, I'll say it again. Even if Zach is like, no, I'm staying with Fatima, he's not completely clean in all of this, because he's been acting very flirtatious and whatnot, and it's not a good look. It really isn't. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you rooting for these two to get back together? Do you think Zach should stay with Fatima? And if he does, he has a lot of groveling to do, and I actually am here for it. So like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and I'll catch you in the next one.